Welcome back to our channel, World Coins History. As you knew that old is gold, but these rare wheat penny coins that are most valuable than you think, don't spend one of them, so please watch complete video and find your treasure. Let's start this. Top 1. Today, we are diving into one of the most fascinating and final chapters of American coinage history, the 1958 Lincoln Wheat Penny. At first glance, it might look like just another old copper coin, but don't be fooled. This little piece of metal holds secrets that have stunned collectors, created buzz in the coin community, and even brought massive paydays to those lucky enough to find a rare version. Let's take a closer look. The Lincoln Wheat Penny is a classic, introduced in 1909 to celebrate the 100th birthday of President Abraham Lincoln. It was the first U.S. coin to feature a real person. On the front, you have Lincoln's profile, the date, and the words "In God We Trust" and "Liberty." On the reverse, two wheat stalks frame the words 1 cent and United States of America. Simple, elegant, and deeply American, but the 1958 wheat penny marks a historic moment. It was the last year this wheat design was struck. Starting in 1959, the reverse was replaced by the Lincoln Memorial. That alone gives the 1958 coin a special place in the hearts of collectors. It represents the end of an era. Now let's talk numbers. The Philadelphia Mint struck over 252 million of these coins. The Denver Mint? Over 800 million. So yes, most 1958 wheat pennies are common. You might even find one in a jar of old coins. But there's a twist, and it's a big one. Among all those millions of coins, a small number of 1958 pennies were struck with a rare and powerful error, the doubled die obverse. This isn't just a slight blur or misprint. The doubling on these coins is bold and dramatic. You can clearly see the doubled letters in Liberty, Indiana, God We Trust, and especially the date 1958. It's a striking mistake, and it makes all the difference. Only a handful of these doubled die coins have ever been discovered. That's what makes them ultra rare. Unlike other years, where thousands of error coins were minted, the 1958 double die was caught early, making the surviving coins incredibly limited. Collectors go absolutely wild for this variety. And it's not just because of the error, it's the combination of the final wheat year and the extreme rarity of the doubling that makes it a true treasure. Even without errors, finding a 1958 penny in pristine condition, bright red color, full luster, no wear, is something special. But when it comes to the double die, you're looking at one of the most valuable Lincoln pennies ever made. So how much are we talking? A regular 1958 wheat penny in circulated condition is typically worth just a few cents to a couple of dollars. A mint state example with a nice red shine can fetch $20 to $50, depending on its condition, but the 1958 double die obverse? In a public auction, one of these ultra-rare coins sold for more than $125,000, yes, a penny worth more than $125,000, and that's why this coin is so thrilling for collectors. The history, the design, the rarity, and that incredible error make it one of the most exciting coins in U.S. numismatics. So if you have a 1958 wheat penny sitting in your drawer, grab a magnifying glass. Check that date. You never know, you could be holding a small fortune right in the palm of your hand. Top 2. We are uncovering the story behind a coin that may seem common at first glance, but has a surprising twist hidden beneath its copper surface, the 1953 Lincoln Wheat Penny from the United States of America. Whether you're a coin collector, treasure hunter, or someone who simply enjoys the thrill of finding value in forgotten change, this is a coin you'll want to hear about. Let's go back in time. The year is 1953. America was in the post-war boom. Dwight D. Eisenhower had just taken office as president, and the Lincoln Wheat Penny was still going strong. This iconic coin, first introduced in 1909, had already become a beloved symbol in American pockets. Designed by Victor David Brenner, it features a right-facing portrait of Abraham Lincoln on the obverse, with the words "In God We Trust," "Liberty," and the year 1953. On the reverse, two classic wheat ears surround the bold words 1 cent and United States of America. A simple yet powerful design that speaks to over half a century of history. But what makes the 1953 Lincoln Wheat Penny worth talking about today? This coin was minted in 3 locations: Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. The Philadelphia Mint produced over 256 million coins with no mint mark. The Denver Mint added a small d below the date and struck over 700 million, while the San Francisco Mint, with its S mint mark, produced just under 182 million. In terms of sheer numbers, that means the 1953 penny is not extremely rare, but don't let the high mintage fool you. What truly excites collectors are condition and errors. And yes, the 1953 penny has both. Let's start with condition. A coin in average circulated shape might not raise eyebrows, but a 1953 penny with bright red luster and no signs of wear, known as mint state red, is highly desirable. These coins are graded on a 70-point scale, and examples that hit MS65 or higher are considered investment-worthy pieces by serious collectors. Now let's talk about what really makes this coin fascinating. Errors. Some 1953 pennies were struck with die cracks, creating strange raised lines on the surface of the coin. Others show off-center strikes, where part of the design is missing due to a misaligned die. Then there's the occasional repunched mint mark, especially on the 1953D and 1953S versions, where the mint mark was stamped more than once, creating a visible doubling point. One of the most intriguing errors for this year is the double die, where the letters or numbers appear doubled due to a misalignment in the die. Although less common than in some other years, any clear doubling on a 1953 penny should be closely examined and professionally evaluated. These rare varieties can turn a common coin into a rare collectible almost overnight. For collectors, the hunt for a perfect 1953 penny, especially one with a sharp strike, vibrant color, and a rare error, is part of what makes this hobby so rewarding. It's not just about age, it's about uniqueness, condition, and those little quirks that separate one penny from millions of others. So, how much is a 1953 Lincoln Wheat Penny actually worth today? If it's a circulated example in average shape, it might be worth between 5 cents and $1. But a well-preserved mint state red coin can sell for between $10 and $50. And if you're lucky enough to have one with a rare error, like a strong double die or a dramatic off-center strike, it could easily reach into the hundreds. Now, for the most jaw-dropping part, in a recent auction, an exceptionally preserved 1953D Lincoln Wheat Penny, graded MS67 red, sold for more than $4,500. That's right, a single copper penny, worth over $4,500. So before you toss that old penny aside, take a second look. You might just be holding a tiny piece of history that's not only collectible, it could also be very valuable. Top 3. We are exploring a classic piece of American history that might be hiding in your pocket change, the 1952 Lincoln Wheat Penny. At first glance, it may look like just another old copper coin, but if you're a coin lover or a collector, this little penny could hold more value than you think. Stay with us, because by the end of this video, you'll know exactly what to look for, from rare errors to key features that make this coin worth real money. The Lincoln Wheat Penny has a long and beloved history. Introduced in 1909 to commemorate the 100th birthday of Abraham Lincoln, it was the first U.S. coin to feature a real person. The obverse shows a strong profile of President Lincoln, with the words "In God We Trust" above, "Liberty" to the left, and the date 1952 to the right. The reverse features 2 wheat stalks curving around the sides of the coin, framing the inscriptions 1 cent and United States of America, a simple, timeless design that has become iconic in American coinage. In 1952, the penny was minted in 3 different locations: Philadelphia, no mint mark; Denver, with a D mint mark; and San Francisco, with an S mint mark. Philadelphia struck over 186 million coins, Denver produced more than 746 million, and San Francisco added just over 137 million. With those high numbers, you might think these coins are too common to be valuable, but the story doesn't end there. While most 1952 pennies are indeed common in worn condition, collectors are always searching for coins in pristine, uncirculated state, especially those with vibrant red luster, known as mint state red. These high-grade coins are far more scarce, and demand for them is strong among serious collectors who aim to complete full Lincoln cent collections. But what really adds excitement to the 1952 penny is the possibility of errors and varieties. Among the most desirable are repunched mint marks, where the D or S was struck more than once in slightly different positions. These varieties are quite noticeable under magnification and make a standard penny much more collectible. Another sought-after variety is the off-center strike, where part of the design is missing due to the coin being misaligned during minting, a dramatic visual error that collectors love. Then there are die cracks, which create raised lines across the coin, often mistaken for scratches. These are mint-made flaws, not damage, and they can add interest and value. Although a strong double die variety isn't officially listed for 1952 like in some other years, any noticeable doubling on the date or lettering should be taken seriously. It could be a rare find worth authenticating. And don't forget, coins from the San Francisco Mint in particular are harder to find in high grades, making the 1952s a bit more valuable when found in excellent condition. For coin collectors, the thrill is in the details, spotting that small difference, that flash of color, or that tiny mint mark that turns an ordinary wheat penny into something extraordinary. The 1952 Lincoln Wheat Penny is a perfect example of how even a common year can hold surprises for those who know what to look for. So let's get to the part you've been waiting for. What is the real value of a 1952 penny? A circulated 1952 penny is usually worth between 5 cents and $1, depending on its condition and mint mark. A high-grade uncirculated coin with full red color can bring between $20 and $60, depending on its rarity and overall quality. And for the rarest varieties, like repunched mint marks or off-center errors in near-perfect condition, values can go much higher. In one recent auction, a 1952 Lincoln Wheat Penny from the Denver Mint, graded MS-67 red, sold for more than $5,700. Yes, over $5,700 for a single penny. So next time you come across an old wheat penny, take a closer look. You might be holding not just a piece of history, but a hidden treasure waiting to be discovered. Top 4, we are exploring the fascinating 1939 Lincoln Wheat Penny, a coin that may look ordinary but could be a hidden gem for collectors. If you love coins or simply want to know what makes an old penny valuable, you'll want to stay till the end. The 1939 penny features the iconic portrait of Abraham Lincoln on the front, along with the words "In God We Trust, Liberty," and the date 1939. On the back, 2 wheat stalks frame the words 1 cent and United States of America. It's a timeless design that ran from 1909 to 1958 and remains a favorite among collectors. This penny was minted in 3 locations: Philadelphia, which has no mint mark, Denver with a small d, and San Francisco with an s. Over 316 million were made in Philadelphia, making those the most common. Denver minted only about 15 million, making the 1939 D penny the rarest of the 3. San Francisco struck around 52 million. Now here's where things get interesting. Most 1939 pennies you'll find in circulation are well worn and not worth much. But when you find one in uncirculated condition, especially one with its original red copper color, the value can jump significantly. These high-grade coins are known as mint state red and are highly collectible, but it's not just the condition that matters. Errors and varieties are what turn some 1939 pennies into valuable collector items. One popular variety is the repunched mint mark, especially on the 1939 D and 1939 S. These errors happen when the mint mark was struck more than once, creating a visible doubling. Another error is the off-center strike, where the coin wasn't properly aligned during minting. These can range from minor to dramatic and are always in demand. You might also find die cracks, which appear as raised lines caused by a damaged die, small details, but very collectible. While the 1939 penny isn't considered rare overall, the right combination of mint mark, condition, and error can make it quite valuable. Collectors are always looking for coins from this year in pristine condition or with unique minting flaws. So how much is a 1939 wheat penny really worth? In circulated condition, it can be worth between 5 cents and $1. In mint state red condition, it can range from $10 to $50. But a rare 1939 D in top condition, graded MS-67 red, once sold at auction for more than $3,800. That's right, over $3,800 for a single penny. Top 5, and last rare coin. We are taking you back more than a century to uncover the story of a coin that has survived wars, depression, and time itself, the 1917 Lincoln Wheat Penny. If you're a coin lover or a history buff, this is one penny you'll want to hear about. It's more than just old copper. It's a symbol of American resilience and, in the right condition, it can be surprisingly valuable. The Lincoln cent was introduced in 1909 to mark the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. It became the first U.S. coin to feature a real person. On the obverse, we see Lincoln's portrait, the word liberty on the left, the motto "In God We Trust" above, and the date 1917 to the right. Just beneath the date on this specific coin is a small S, the mint mark for San Francisco. Now, what makes the 1917 S special? This coin was minted at a time when the United States had just entered World War I, resources were tight, and coin production reflected the times. While the Philadelphia Mint produced over 196 million pennies in 1917, the San Francisco Mint only struck about 32 million. That might sound like a lot, but compared to other years, it's considered relatively low, especially when you factor in how few survive in high-grade condition today. And here's the key: most 1917 pennies were heavily circulated. They were workhorses of the economy, used daily, worn down, and rarely saved in uncirculated condition. That's why collectors hunt for well-preserved examples of this coin. Let's talk about what to look for. First, condition is everything. A 1917 penny with strong detail and full wheat lines on the reverse is hard to find. The San Francisco Mint was known for slightly weaker strikes, so a well-struck 1917 stands out even more. Second, there are errors and varieties that increase value. One of the most intriguing is the repunched mint mark, where the S appears doubled or misaligned due to being stamped more than once. These RPMs are small but visible with a magnifying glass and are highly collectible. You might also find coins with die cracks, lamination flaws, or even off-center strikes, all of which add uniqueness and value. These aren't damage, they're mistakes from the mint itself, and collectors love them. Now let's talk about the real excitement. Value. A 1917 penny in average circulated condition might not seem impressive at first. But a well-preserved example, especially with full detail and original red-brown color, becomes a different story. If you're lucky enough to find one with a strong strike and a rare error, it can be worth even more. In circulated grades, this coin can range from $1 to $50 depending on where. In higher mint state grades, especially those graded MS-65 or above, the value skyrockets. And one rare 1917 Lincoln Wheat Penny, graded MS-66 red, sold at public auction for more than $20,000, yes, over $20,000 for a single 1917 penny. So the next time you're sorting through old coins or browsing a dealer's table, keep an eye out for this one. The 1917 may be over a century old, but for collectors, its story, and its value, is very much alive today. Thanks for watching. If you love the thrill of coin collecting and discovering history in your hands, don't forget to like, subscribe, and drop a comment. Because even the smallest coin can carry a century of stories, and maybe even a small fortune.